"Thank you," said Emily, as she moved in the direction the woman had indicated. But the receptionist's attention had already returned to the pressing issues of her computer game. "Bitch," Emily muttered under her breath before she knocked on the office door. 45 minutes later, Emily allowed the door to the doctor's office to swing shut behind her. She let out a small sigh of contentment as the sounds and smells of New York City washed over her. Emily loved this city. She'd grown up in Denison, Iowa, a small backwater farm town that was as unremarkable as the hundreds of other towns surrounding it. Looking back, it seemed like she had spent most of her youth just waiting for the moment when she could get out of town and move somewhere, anywhere, as long as there were people. Lots of people. She had never meant to be a reporter. In fact, she had fallen into it by luck rather than design. Like many small towns, hers had an even smaller local paper. It published an issue once a week covering everything from the county sheriff's arrest record to the usual small-town politics. They had been looking for an entry-level reporter to cover the local town board meetings, and Emily had, on a whim, decided to apply for the position. Hal, the editor, interviewed her. He was a grizzled old man who looked 80, but could well have been 100 for all she could tell. He had been in the newspaper business since the Second World War, when he had served with the U.S. Marines Combat Correspondent Corps. He'd told her he would try her out and pay her as a stringer for a couple of weeks. "If you fit in, we'll see about something permanent, young lady," he had told her. Emily had taken to the job in a way she never imagined possible. Within a month, Emily had secured her place as a staff writer for the little paper. 2 years later, Emily found herself promoted to lead writer. "Comfortable as a tick on a dog's ass," Al had eloquently described her success. She stayed with the paper for another 5 years before she felt she had enough experience to take on the challenges of working for a bigger publication. She'd been pleasantly surprised by the number of requests for interviews she received, but had finally decided to accept an offer from the New York Tribune that was just too good to pass up. It was her ticket out of the small town she had longed to leave for so long. She'd been working the Metro desk at the Tribune for 6 years now, and loved every minute of it. The job would never make her rich, but it paid enough that she got by without having to worry about when the next paycheck was coming. She lived alone, so she didn't have a lot of the overhead other reporters had, like a family to take care of. Emily never learned to drive. There never seemed to be a need for it. Back in Denison, she could hop on a bike and be anywhere she needed to be in less than 10 minutes. In New York City, she would have spent more time stuck in traffic jams than she could afford. So she stuck with her trusty bike. For longer jaunts, she would usually take the subway. Of course, no matter how much she loved the job and the city, there would always be days like today. It was sweltering hot, 92 degrees with 65% humidity. When you coupled the coma-inducing humidity and heat with the idiot receptionist and her equally annoying boss, you had the makings of a less-than-perfect day. But Emily didn't mind too much. It was almost noon, and she had her first story for the day in the bag, which meant she was already ahead of the game. She had a choice now. Head back to the newsroom or grab a bite to eat at a local cafe and then write up her article. Emily pulled her smartphone from its holder on her belt and checked her itinerary for the day. She had another 3 hours before her next appointment, so the choice was hers. There was a small internet cafe a couple of blocks away that she knew also did an astoundingly good BLT sandwich. At the thought of it, her stomach gave a little grumble. Well, that decided it then. Emily unlocked the chain securing her bike to a no parking sign, slung her backpack over her shoulder, and set off in the direction of lunch. Emily brought her bike to a stop in front of the cafe. She chained the bike to the security rack the store had courteously installed just outside and walked into the cafe. As she entered the air-conditioned interior of the cafe, Emily felt the sweat under her armpits chill uncomfortably enough to give her a little shiver. The mellow sound of smooth jazz and the smells of roasted coffee and fresh-baked bread